Smoke poured from the second-floor apartment as Cole Brennan walked his dog past the building. 38 years old, with a lean build and weathered features, former Army Ranger, no working odd jobs to make ends meet. This German Shepherd Ranger trotted beside him, dog that had served with him overseas. Only family. Cole had left. Ranger stopped, sudden liar's alert growling low in his throat. "What is it, boy?" Then Cole smelled it. Smoke, not barbecue smoke, something burning wrong. Looked up, flames visible in a second-story window. People were gathering. Pointingtons on a phone calling 911. "Everyone is out," a man shouted. The Morales family got out the back. Ranger barked sharp and insistent bark he used to give in combat when he sensed danger. Cole had learned to trust that bark with his life. "What do you hear, boy?" Ranger barked again, pulled toward the building. That was when Cole heard it. Faint, a child crying. "Is anyone else inside?" Cole shouted. "No." Someone said everyone is accounted for, but Ranger was never wrong. Cole did not think, just ran through the front door, up the stairs, filling with smoke. Ranger ahead of him. Dog knew where to go. He reached the second floor. Heat intense seismic thick. Ranger led him to apartment. The door was hot. Cole kicked it in. Inside the smoke was worse, flames consuming the kitchen, spreading fast. "Hello," Cole shouted. Ranger barked, headed deeper into the apartment. A bedroom Cole found here. Little girl, maybe 4 years old, curled under a bed, clutching a teddy bear, unconscious from smoke. "I have got you," Cole said. Grabbed the child, covered her with his jacket. Ranger led the way back through the smoke, down the stairs, out into fresh air. Cole laid the girl on the grass. Was not breathing. Started per compressions. First breaths 30 seconds that felt like hours. Girl could get gasp. Pinned her ice. Paramedics arrived, took over, rushed her to an ambulance. Cole sat on the curb, covered in soot. Ranger beside him. People thanked him, patted Ranger's head, but Cole just felt numb. Adrenaline fading, leaving exhaustion. They fire chief approached. "You saved that little girl's life. How did you know she was in there?" Cole gestured to Ranger. He knew that is one hell of a dog, best partner I ever had. Later that evening, Cole was back in his small apartment-owned room above a laundry model he could afford on his disability check, and sporadic work. Ranger lay on the floor, still recovering from smoke inhalation. Vet had checked him, said he would be fine. Cole was making dinner men again when someone knocked. Had opened the door to find a woman, early 30s, with dark hair and sharp eyes. Wore an expensive suit. "Are you Cole Brennan?" "Yes, I am Victoria Morales," she said. Her voice was controlled, but her eyes were red from crying. "You saved my daughter this afternoon." Cole felt his stomach drop. "Your daughter?" "I did not know anyone was still inside. The babysitter left her." Victoria said, her voice breaking. "Said she was taking Sophia to the park, but she left her alone and went somewhere else when the fire started. She was too scared to admit it. Told everyone Sophia was with me." Tears streamed down her face. "If you and your dog had not gone, and if Ranger had not hurt her." She could not finish. Cole opened the door wider. "Come in." Victoria sat in his only chair. Cole sat on the bed. Ranger came over, put his head in Victoria's lap, stroked his fur. "Thank you," she whispered to the dog, to Coletto, both of them. "How is Sophia?" Cole asked. "She will be okay," Victoria said. "Smoke inhalation, some burns on her hands, but she will recover." She wiped her eyes. "I need to do something for you." She pulled out an envelope. "This is a check for saving my daughter." Cole did not take it. "I do not want money. You risked your life." "I did what anyone would do." "No," Victoria said firmly. "Most people stood outside. You ran in." She looked at Ranger. "Both of you." She set the envelope on the small table. "At least take it for your dog, for vet bills, for whatever he needs." Cole looked at the envelope. He did not touch it. "Can I ask you something?" Victoria said. "Sure." "Why do you live like this?" She gestured to the sparse room. "You are a veteran, a hero. Why are you in this place?" Cole was quiet. "Because heroes do not always get parades," he said. "Finally, sometimes they just get discharged with injuries no one can see, and a system that does not know how to help them." Victoria looked at him, really looked at him. "What did you do before Army Ranger? Bomb detection. Ranger and I worked together overseas. When I got injured, they retired both of us." "What kind of work do you do now?" "Whatever I can find," Cole admitted. "Construction, when my back allows it. Security sometimes. Mostly, I just try to make rent." Victoria nodded, thinking, "I run a security company." She said, "Corporate protection, risk assessment. I need someone who understands real danger, who has actually faced it." She looked at him. "Would you consider working for me?" "Why?" Because you ran into a burning building, Victoria said, because your dog sensed danger when no one else did, because you had skills most people do not, and because you saved my daughter. Cole did not know what to say. I will pay you 3 times what you are making now. Victoria continued. Full benefits, a real position, not charity, a job because you are qualified. She stood. Think about it. Call me tomorrow. She left her card. Dan the envelope after she left. Cole opened the envelope. Inside was a check for $50,000. Stared at it, at the number, more money than he had seen in years. Ranger whined. Cole looked at his dog. She is something else, boy. The next day, Cole Khaled took the job. Started the following week. Security assessment, 3D valuation. Things he understood, things he was good at. Victoria was a tough boss, demanding but fire. She saw what Cole could. Dog roasted his judgment. 6 months later, Cole had an apartment with actual furniture. Could afford. Ranger's medical care was rebuilding his life. Own evening, Victoria asked him to stay after work. I need to tell you something, she said. Okay. When you saved Sophia, Victoria began. I was at a business meeting. I had left her with the babysitter. Again, her voice was thick with guilt. I am always working, always building the company. I tell myself it is for Sophia, to give her a good life, but I was not there. She looked at Cole. You did not have to be, but you were. Cole understood. You cannot predict fires. No, Victoria agreed. But I can be more present. I can choose my daughter over meetings. You reminded me what matters. Over the next year, Cole and Victoria grew close. A professional relationship became friendship. Became something more. I am falling for you, Victoria admitted one night after a company dinner. I have been falling for you since the fire. Cole replied, but I did not think what that someone like you would want. Someone like me. Victoria took his hand. Someone like you saved my daughter, rebuilt his life, faces every day with courage. That is exactly who I want. They married 2 years after the fire. Small ceremony. Sophia was the flower girl. Ranger wore a bowed tea at the reception. Cole gave a toast. 3 years ago, I was walking my dog, he said, living day to day, trying to survive. Then Ranger sensed danger, led me into a burning building to save a little girl. I did not know. He looked at his family. That little girl's mother gave me more than money. She gave me purpose, a job, a chance to rebuild, and eventually she gave me her heart. His voice broke. Ranger saved Sophia that day, but Victoria saved me by seeing past the struggling veteran to the person I could become. Victoria stood. Cole ran into fire for my daughter, she said without hesitation, without knowing who we were, just because it was right. She looked at her husband. That told me everything about his character, and I knew I wanted that person in our lives, not just as an employee, but as family. She knelt by Ranger. This dog heard my daughter when no one else could. Trusted his instincts, led his person to her. She looked at Cole. Both of you saved us, and we will spend our lives being grateful. Years later, Sophia would tell the story about the fire, about the veteran and his dog, about how they ran in when everyone else stood outside. My daddy heard Ranger bark, she would say, and chose to trust. That saved my life, but it also saved his, because sometimes when you save someone, you save yourself too. Sometimes heroes need saving too. Sometimes the person you rescue rescues you back, and sometimes a dog's instinct leads to more than safety. It leads to family. If this story touched your heart, please like and share it with someone who honors veterans and service animals. Subscribe for more stories about courage and second chances. Comment and tell us about a time when trusting your instincts led to something important. Your story might encourage someone to listen to that inner voice today.